I just want to do a little study here on a small piece, 7 by 10 inch, 200-pound watercolor paper, just to show how much you can get done on an ocean spray type of sketch while the paper is totally wet. It's just a good thing to practice working on wet paper because it means mixing a fairly dry combination. This is going to be just a bit of light ultramarine blue. Just a touch of burnt sienna in it, my trustworthy combination of two pigments for stuff like this. I'll switch to a little bit of clean water here just to smudge that. And then a bit of burnt sienna for this wet sand area. But you can see it's dry enough that it holds the edge a little bit. Doesn't run completely flat, so it's more like a dry on wet paper uh, technique. Just a little darker mixture here. I want to see if I can get this to look wet, so putting in a few kind of vertical smears will make it kind of look shiny. Now, a real dark mixture of mostly ultramarine, but a little bit of burnt sienna in it, so that it really contrasts my spray here coming off these waves. But it also, by doing it on while the paper is wet, you get the fuzzy edge that ocean spray wants to make. Clean the brush quickly and wipe it so that you can just lift a little bit, like the wind catches it. I don't want to overdo that, but now a dark mixture for these rocks, and I'll get a little bit of a wet edge if I do that while the paper's wet, or get a bit of a soft edge, so that the rocks look like they're embedded right in the foam. I mean, you can do this on a larger piece, but it's good to practice on a small one until you get the hang of it. And just kind of shake the brush into some of these patterns so you get a bit of a shadow underneath the foam. It kind of flips around and tumbles onto itself and gives you a bit of a texture in it as it rushes forward. It's going to work fairly quickly now because it's drying. Now I'd like to get a little bit of that ocean in the distance. Then with the darker blue before it dries completely, but it's pretty dry back there. So I can get a fairly hard edge now. And it's not going to move very much, but that's okay. I don't really want it to on that part. Now it's dry, so you can go in and draw to your heart's content. Now that you've got a dry paper and you want to pick up some of these harder edges, I won't do much of this because I just want to maybe get your attention to some detailed areas here. I still like the fact that most of the rock has got a soft edge because the spray is tumbling over it. But you can see how it can fiddle a lot now. Maybe draw a little more shape into the waves back there. And the front edge of this foam. It's coming forward. As I think you get the idea now. That's finished sketch.